All right, hopefully I'll be able to figure out how to mesh these. If not, in the middle of doing the little video about borderline personality disorder, and right now I'm talking about how people with BPD can be sort of targeted and used in relationships. Reason so we can be very easily gaslighted, and we frequently will default to somebody else's perception if we doubt ours. And also we know how mentally ill we are. Like we know we and so if somebody tells us like, oh no, this isn't a thing, like you shouldn't be jealous, this is just your BPD, that can be used in some really destructive ways. Some experiences. I was in a relationship for many years, and I was engaged for part of it, with somebody who was not always abusive, but did become abusive during the course of the relationship. And one thing that happened, that he started to gaslight me, just, like, just tell me that I'm being crazy, or that, my feelings don't have validity because they're coming from a BPD place, or that, because he would go on and on and on about how crazy I am, and about how, like, anything that I had a problem with was also crazy, or was just me being crazy, and that ended very badly, of course. And another example that I think is even better, I have some friends who are a couple. The one half of the couple is my age, in his mid-30s, if not late 30s, has several children from a previous relationship. When I met him, he was at least 33 and was dating an 18-year-old girl, who was an age regressor, a little. And I'm not going to speak negatively about that. I'm just saying that's what was going on. So he was already very much a caretaker. And the other half of the relationship is somebody who I know not quite as well. She is in her early 20s. She was, I think, 19 when they started dating. And he is polyamorous, just naturally. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. She's not. She just, she maybe with somebody else, but she didn't want the relationship to be polyamorous. And that had been a situation for some time. And I started talking to her a little bit because I don't know, I just felt bad about it, because I've known a lot of people who have been in that situation where there are two people in a relationship, one person is poly, one person is not. And it can cause a lot of unhappiness, obviously. And so I was talking to her a lot, and it just felt pretty out of the blue to me. She went into a psych ward and got diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. And since then, every time I talk to my friend, the male half of this relationship, it's all about treating her mental illness, and it's all about how now she's getting the help that she needs. Now she's in therapy, and now we have a diagnosis, and she's on meds, and just completely pathologizing the simple fact that she doesn't want him to fuck other people. I'm sure that there's more to it in the relationship. I'm sure that she very easily probably does have BPD, but BPD doesn't make you, I don't know, like, not wanting your boyfriend to fuck other people is not a symptom of borderline personality disorder. It's not a symptom of any mental illness. The same as, like, wanting to fuck other people in a relationship. It's not a symptom of mental illness. For a while, I tried to talk to both parties in this relationship, specifically the male half, just being like, I think the grown-up thing to do would be to sort of accept that, like, neither of you guys are going to be happy because, like, in this relationship, because one of you is going to be sacrificing your own happiness. But, like, it's just continued. And I know better than to expect just a magic, like, end to this sort of codependent relationship, because they absolutely are codependent. Especially if she does have BPD. I mean, I was with the guy I was engaged to, almost beat me to death. And, like, only one of my front teeth is real. And I went back more than once, more than twice. I spent years after that embroiled in that relationship. And I think I lost a lot of really good friends who just got sick of seeing it happen. Anyway, so that's just sort of a tangent about that. And let's see. I don't want to stop talking. I don't want to stop talking. I want to keep talking. But that's just about it. Final thoughts. If you're watching this and you have borderline personality disorder, even if you've been like beating your head against a wall for years, don't quit. Don't quit. Like, when I was 20, I mean, God, okay. I went through DBT twice, and I didn't get anything out of it. I've had a lot of different therapists. I've tried a lot of different therapies, and until I was like 32 maybe, I was just like, what the fuck is the point? I don't ever feel better. Nothing lasts. I end up sabotaging all of my relationships. But it turned out that I was doing the important work, but it was like subterranean. It was, you're doing work now that will pay off later. And for people who don't have BPD and are just sort of watching this, that's awesome that you are remotely interested in learning about this. 'Cause like, most of the people who think that they know about BPD don't. And there's just so much harmful stigma out there. So, but I also want to say that, like, we can also easily become abusers. And that is not okay. Being mentally ill is not an excuse for abusive behavior or manipulative behavior. So, like, if, we threaten to kill ourselves if you leave us, leave us. That is, if we kill ourselves, that's not your fault. That is not on you. It's not your responsibility. And just don't let people control your behavior ever. But especially with BPD, it's so good to have boundaries where if you're just like, hey, I'm turning my phone off for the rest of the night, do it. And God, I would recommend therapy for most people, but like, that reminds me. If you have BPD, try journaling. Just keeping a journal has been over the course of like 2 decades of me like having BPD has been much more helpful than any therapist. Partially because I think that any therapist needs a little bit of like specific training to treat somebody with BPD. Same with trauma. Okay. So, but as far, like, I also want to point out that, like, not to suck my own dick, but, like, just to let you guys know that people with BPD can be successful and shit. Like, I am in school. I am gonna graduate probably next year, and I have, like, a 3.9 GPA, so I'm probably going to get a pretty fancy, scholarship to a grad school. I specifically want to focus in psychedelic therapy, and I also want to get involved in research on the microbiome and potentially using the microbiome to treat mental illnesses. Both of those are really burgeoning fields. So I do think that I'm going to be able to find a grad school to go to without much difficulty. I have FAFSA is paying for all of my shit. And I'm doing really well in school. Again, I've been in a relationship since, I want to say, February 2020. So a lot of it has been in COVID. And it hasn't been perfect, obviously. But I've been able, like, when I first started the relationship, I was like, okay, I want this to be it. Like, I don't want to fuck this up. Um, I don't want to do the weird tests. I don't want to cross the boundaries that, I don't want to, like, be manipulative. And that has helped me just stay conscious of those tendencies. Um, anyway, so, like, you can fucking do this. And, I wholeheartedly believe that you will. Okay, so I guess that's fucking it. I'm Luke. I made a Patreon page the other day. There is one video on it that is not accessible on my YouTube, just because of the sensitivity of the subject matter. That video has to do with my own history of substance abuse, and something that's been going on recently with somebody who I love very dearly, and how that has affected how I see substance abuse, and how that has contributed to my new declaration of sobriety against alcohol. And yeah, so okay, bye.